Well, hello there. In today's show, it's getting hot in here as we discuss what makes a destination popular. We discover a new first class, plus I get tips on what to do on my first trip to the south of France. All this and much more on this episode of Love, Travel, Live, Travel, starting right now. Well, hello there! I am Joshua Harrell, and this is my co-pilot, Jason Block.
How we doing, everybody?
Did I just do an Oprah Block?
A little bit. I like it, though. It's good.
Yeah. I'm going to do a proper intro to the show, but I do have to just let all of you tuning in live know, or if you're watching this on demand, that just before the show, Jason's playing with his computery type thing here, giving me all the sound effects from my youth. So we had Super Mario Brothers. There was That's Hot from Paris Hilton. Yeah, there was quite a few.
Yeah, it's Mr. T.
Mr. T, yeah, everything. So definitely kept me on my game there. That was good. So anyway, welcome to Love, Travel, Live, Travel, a show all about, well, for people who love travel so much that they chose to make a living in travel.
That is right.
And so we just can't get enough of it, right?
It is the best industry in the world, bar
Dun,
none.
dun, dun.
I'm so glad, Joshua. I was figuring out what to wear today, and I have my trademark black sweater, but I'm thinking it's wave season. It's cruising along. It's warming up a little outside, and I almost brought the Hawaiian shirt, but I'm glad I didn't, because that just wouldn't have been, it would have been too much. Too much, I think.
Yeah, so I decided, I feel like this particular shirt is a snow leopard meets the Northern Lights.
I was thinking more like 40s video game guy is what that shirt, that's the vibe that shirt's giving me.
Oh, someone in their 40s playing video games?
Correct.
Okay. I'll take that.
Or snow leopard.
Or snow leopard in the Northern Lights, I think.
But I love
Mine was a little more descriptive.
I love it.
Well, if you tuned into the, just before the show got started, I dropped in the comments section, if you were joining us live, the poll question. The poll question is, what makes a destination, I'm going to do air quotes, hot? And so we're not talking temperature here. We're talking about popularity. And this really comes from a story that came out this week, just a brief story about Tauk announcing that they were going to start a tour or tours in Colombia in 2025, yes. And we already know that Ama Waterways is going to be the first river cruise on going through Colombia in November of 2024. I think that's the schedule, which is pretty cool. But all of a sudden, Colombia hot.
Colombia's popping.
Yeah, it's getting hot in here, right? So, what do you think makes a destination hot? So drop your answers down in the comments, and then also just a new segment that we're going to do, and Ask Me Anything at the end of the show. That reminds me of The More You Know.
That's right. We're just transporting ourselves back to the 80s, aren't we?
We are. At the end of the show, we're going to do Ask Me Anything. So if you guys have any questions, burning questions that you want to ask Jason or myself, just put a question in front of your question, and then producer Evan's going to know to save that to the end. And then he's going to run that beautiful, The More You Know. And then we're going to go through your questions at the very end. So, I wonder what you want to know about. I don't know.
I don't. We'll find out.
Yeah, we will find. All right, Evan, put it away. Put it away.
Just keep it clean.
Yes, just keep it clean. All right, I'm going to go over and see what's going on in the chat. So, Storybook Trips said, well, obviously the heat makes a destination hot, but in terms of selling it, could be some new offering or newly discovered amenity or benefit, or it's just brand new.
Yeah.
So, that makes sense.
New is always hot, right?
Yeah. And that's also, I mean, the strategy with the cruise lines and their private islands or ports, if they can't, I mean, there aren't, unless Atlantis comes up from the sea, like there's not going to be a new island, so they're going to make one. Daniela said, happy Friday. I'm so excited about the Discovery Cruise training and the X-Fam. Thank you for providing so many opportunities for us. And so Daniela is one of our members, and she is talking about the new Discovery trainings that we're doing. Mm-hmm. So if you want to know about those, go to World Via Pro, and you'll learn all about those special training opportunities. I forgot that those dropped this week. The more you know. Daniela, thank you. Daniela is always so positive. What a ray of sunshine. Lisa, she said, happy Friday. Love the shirt, Joshua. I'm glad that.
Me too.
Yeah, Jason does too.
I love it.
But nobody cares about the hot destination. Oh, really? Mute your devices. While we're here, I'm going to do mine too. Thank you, Lisa. Always good to see you. Stop it.
That's hot.
World Via Chris, who is our associate producer in the room here, he said, happy Friday from Studio A here in Roswell, Georgia. Sandy said, look at you two with your fresh haircuts. We do. We both did. When did you get your hair done?
Well, I didn't get it done, but I got it cut. When was it? Last weekend?
I'm glad that Sandy is the one that asked that question, because we both know and love Sandy. So I love that. Yeah.
It's been last weekend. I
just got
Yeah.
I got mine done
You got yours
on
done.
Wednesday. Going to the south of France, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. Thank you for
I'm
noticing.
jealous.
I'm blushing a little bit that Sandy noticed. Thank you. Attitudes and Latitudes said, happy Friday from the Walt Disney World Swan.
Oh, fun.
Have you ever been to the Swan?
Yes, I have.
So I remember when the Swan and the Dolphin opened.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was a little bit younger, and
Uh-huh.
I was like, that is not a dolphin. I felt like...
That's a fish.
That's a fish. Like, I mean, it just seemed, if you're going to go dolphin, go dolphin.
The trout and the swan.
Yeah, exactly. I hope you're having a grand time at the Swan there. Thank you for watching us while you're on holiday there.
Yeah.
Our Laura is joined. Happy Friday! I get to see Laura at the Travel Agent Forum in Las Vegas
Oh, fun.
in a little bit, along with World Via Chris over here. Storybook Trips, question request. She said challenge accepted. All right. I better brace myself for impact on that one. I know who's behind Storybook Trips. That's our Angela. All right, Bill. Poll answer. So he is coming. So our poll question was,
Welcome back, Bill.
what? Yes, welcome back. Thank you. And thank you for bringing it to the poll question.
There we
Poll answer, he said natural beauty. Oh,
Mhm.
I just went to, okay. Natural beauty, historically significant sites, availability of activities. That's a good point. Nice mixture of things. What do you think about it? Like, you've seen some trends. I mean, obviously you've been around travel. I mean, you've kind of grown up in the travel industry.
Yeah.
So you've seen some trends. But what do you think? impacts
makes
what
something
it
hot?
Yeah.
You know, I think anything that has that pop culture tie-in. We saw it most recently with White Lotus, right?
Yes.
You know, Hawaii, super popular. Then Sicily, super popular. Then Thailand will be, we can expect, super popular. So anytime you see that kind of phenomenon, I think that contributes greatly to that kind of momentum. You think about things like, you know, like the Maldives or Maldives, depending on how fancy you want to be. All of a sudden, the Instagram.
I didn't know there was an option for that. I
Well-
mean, I've had an endive salad, but I've not had an endive salad.
The point, like when you saw like Instagram becoming popular, right? Like
Yeah.
every influencer in the world is posting pictures from there, and all of a sudden it's like the hot place, right? And you know, years prior to that, I don't think it certainly had the cachet that it does today.
Right.
So I think those kind of I think that all fits in that pop culture thing that can just kind of start to feed on itself.
Right. Well, it's interesting that you said that about White Lotus, because, and then you went into social media because Follow the Second Star said influences start to go there, and it's that kind of getting used to seeing those images,
Yeah.
and then and especially something like a popular show. It's like, oh, Hawaii, that's a thing, and then everyone wants to go to Hawaii, and then the Sicily, and like you said, Thailand. I think that's going to be the same thing. And then with things like what was the big movie with the hobbits?
Lord of
the Rings. Thank you. So everybody needed to go to New Zealand, and they needed to go see where the hobbits were, right?
Right.
And I say that because producer Christopher is a big fan of the hobbits. So I had to get that in. But Croatia and a lot of the destinations for Game of Thrones, lots of popularity with that. Plus, I think when places get overcrowded and they don't have the infrastructure, like Iceland, you know, I'm newer to the travel industry, and I remember coming into it and Iceland being like the place to go, and then all of a sudden Iceland said, "Whoo, don't want you, don't come here." So then it was like, find somewhere else to go. So then something else has to, and then somebody else who's hungry for it,
Right.
is clamoring for that business. So kind of interesting to hear everybody's thoughts. So I just want to note for our producers that Storybook Trips did not follow the instructions that you're supposed to put a question mark in front of your end of show question for the Ask Me Anything section. So anyway, but just if you joined us just now, we're going to, at the end of the show, we're going to do an Ask Me Anything at the end of the show. Just put a question mark in front of your question, and then the producer Evan, who's behind the scenes with his little soundboard, he's going to save those questions for the end. But keep talking to us, because we love hearing from you. I feel like I'm on my cushion is getting deflated back here. Anyway, let's see. Oops, got my Ask Me Anything. So, all right. So I wanted to talk a little bit about. I've got my little cards here. I feel like I do feel like I'm Oprah, or I'm Drew. Isn't Drew's now the new talk show, right? I don't know. I'm not home during the Drew Barrymore. She has a talk show now. Actually, I think she's been around for a long time, but anyway. So wave season, steaming along. Recent survey of travel advisors and cruise executives from Cleveland Research Company found that January bookings were a touch below expectations, followed by a more robust February, but everything just a little bit softer than what was anticipated, but the overall value, the volume, the value of the sales, much higher than same time last year. So these are not discounted sailings, and that's speaking to a lot of people in the cruise space, just talking about this is not discount travel. This is people are paying a lot of
Top
money
dollar.
to cruise, and they want to cruise.
Yeah.
So kind of curious, not a poll question, but curious for those of you who sell cruise, are you seeing people who maybe in the past would have balked at some of the prices, just get on board?
And I'm curious, for those of you who sell cruise especially, are you hesitant to even recommend certain options because you think it's not as good a value as maybe it was in the past? Like if a particular sailing or ship is quite a bit more expensive, do you hesitate in recommending it, even though that's kind of the market price? I'm curious, are you letting that, your knowledge of past pricing influence how you present things?
Right.
Curious to know that.
Right. Yeah, let us know. Pop it down in the question or in the comments. Sorry. Yeah, I had someone who shall remain nameless tell me she worked for one of the cruise lines, and she said, "I would not bring my family on a cruise right now. These people are paying prices that I would not pay." And I found that very interesting.
Yeah.
Just to have that example. But anyway, you had something interesting about Viking
Yeah.
that
So,
you found.
like last year we talked about river cruise sailings on the Rhine occurring in the winter for the first time,
Right.
and that the prices were going to be less than in the summer, certainly, and then also less than the spring and fall. And it's in order to kind of keep pace with demand. And Viking's going to be bringing new sailings to the Danube in the winter in 2025. So what I thought was really interesting, they're doing a 10-day itinerary, but pricing starts at $2,200 a person for a 10-day sailing on the Danube. That's pretty attractive.
Yeah.
That's pretty attractive. And it's, for me, I don't know if I'd recommend a winter European river cruise to a first-time river cruiser, but to a repeat river cruiser, I would think it would promise to be a completely different trip. Because just the nature of those destinations is going to be different in the wintertime.
I've never been, so I think that would be kind of...
To me, if I had river cruise clients, even they may already have their summer plans or spring plans or fall plans booked, but they may not have something planned for the winter. So this is an interesting option to recommend, and maybe something they're not aware of. Even if, even if they do have plans, you already got them booked for something in winter of 25. Just making them aware, hey, here's a new product offering, makes you, positions you as the person in the know.
So we've got the ocean cruise lines doing more of these short cruises to the Caribbean, or repositioning ships to do more short Caribbean cruises. So, and bigger ships. So more inventory. The river cruises extending the season just a touch more, just more inventory all over the place. That's a good sign.
Well, it's a really encouraging sign when you see, and you have new ships on order in the ocean space as well, and big ones. But it's a really encouraging sign when you see new inventory combined with stable pricing and even rising pricing. That suggests there's still really strong demand. So that's a very encouraging sign when you think about the industry that we're in.
Yeah. So obviously I didn't think we were going to talk about this particular thing.
Yeah.
But this happened a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about Icon of the Seas with Royal Caribbean, and I was just curious. I was like, I wonder how it would compare to the Titanic, right? And and then I think, was it Christopher? Christopher pulled up a picture. Somebody's already done that.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to see just how big the difference, right? Because you think the Titanic, right?
Right.
It's Titanic. Anyway, Google that because it's kind of fascinating because it looks like a little rowboat.
I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, you do that. We can't show up for copyright purposes, but I'm just saying.
You do your show. I'll just be surfing the net.
You just, that's what it is. So I have to thank producer Evan for most of the news that I get because, most of the time I'm just like, playing on my computer all day. But he's actually, the journalist in the family here. So he introduced me to something called sleep tourism, y'all. I had never heard of this, but it's a thing. And I'm curious if you've heard about this. It's so 1 in 3 adults don't get enough sleep, which I can attest to. I don't get enough sleep, but thank goodness for makeup, right? And 50 to 70 million Americans have chronic sleep disorders, which is fueling this sleep tourism industry. That's just expecting to grow. More than $400 billion. Billion, not million. Wasn't that from a movie?
Austin Powers.
Austin Powers, okay. So $400 billion between 2023 and 2028. So some hotels are employing sleep experts to help their guests snooze. What do you think about that?
I think this is a bizarre story.
Yeah?
Because, yes, there's lots of people who have sleep disorders.
Okay.
That part I get.
Right.
I'm very curious what these hotels are doing to specifically address that. So is it like they're setting up a sleep lab for you to go there and have like a sleep study done?
Well,
Or
I don't
is
know that that's that restful.
Or is it like
do,
a
but it's
spa
making
kind of
it-
experience where they're going to have like a sleep concierge and he's going to come in and like, producer Evan's giving me the thumbs up on that. Would you like the feather or the goose down pillow? Is that the kind of deal? Like,
Yeah, maybe a weighted blanket.
Mhm.
I am telling you, a weighted blanket will have you ever had one?
I've tried it once. I felt like I
mean-
was in a straitjacket.
Oh,
No,
30
not for me.
pounds
Not
is my sleep number. Like I've tried a 25 pounder, it's not the same. 30 pounds
30 is where you're
makes
at.
me
Okay.
like I'm out. But yeah, I don't know. There's some hotel I have never been to a sleep perfection experience. I've never been to one of those hotels, but I'm just saying there's certain hotels that I have slept really well in, and others that I have not.
Well, that's true.
And so I'm
But
wondering.
how do you know which it's going to be?
No, but I'm wondering if maybe these sleep experts have evaluated. Well, one of them I think would be like to make sure that have you stayed at a hotel where the blackout curtains will not meet, and the light is always coming through, the sunlight's. I can't stand that. I cannot stand that. Or it's like in like South Florida where there's just a dampness that just won't go away. Like, I'm sorry, I'm holding on to stuff. Like I don't know. But I will say the best sleep I had to fly all the way to Iceland for. So I'm just saying that was a very expensive trip to just be
To
like,
fall asleep.
oh my gosh, it's like I was meant to sleep in Iceland. But have you ever been on Holland America? They're supposed to be known for their beds, and
Actually, no, I haven't.
well, the bed was nice, but one of the people who I was sailing with said that they actually have bought the bed so they could have that at home, like that experience at home.
Interesting.
And I don't know that I've ever stayed anywhere that I would say, wrap it up, I'm taking that bed.
Rip it up.
I-
Can I get this to go?
We learned about Europe beds too.
Oh yeah, Evan, our producer Evan learned that in Europe that they take the two single beds and put them together to make a king bed.
Right.
He hadn't experienced that before. That was a new thing.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
branching
I don't
out.
know. The sleep tourism. I don't know. I'm not sold on that one.
Well, it's a thing. We'll see. So maybe that'll be a thing like on Agent Profiler, right? Like all of a sudden, when that becomes one of the options, like your specialty.
So that's your niche, right? Like, what's your business card?
No, it's not that. It's like somebody who's like so refreshed all the
slept
time.
so well.
Yeah, when I go on holiday, it's not about the sights. It's not about the adventure. It's about how well rested I am. Yes. Well, anyway, but you know how you can get well rested
How?
is by making sure that you have a very enjoyable flight, and it's very annoying when you are crowded when you're on a flight and people are bumping into you.
Yes.
So Frontier announced that they've got it's not first class. I mean, they have to put their own stamp on it, right?
Okay.
It's called Upfront Plus.
Upfront Plus.
Seating.
Okay.
Sorry, Upfront Plus seating. And so essentially, it's the first 2 rows on Frontier. You can either have the window or the aisle seat. And you're guaranteed, it's a $25 upcharge. And you're guaranteed the or the middle seat, it will be emptied. Or you won't have somebody there. So, I don't know.
That
Doesn't it? It's delightful.
sounds fantastic.
Delectable, yeah.
I mean, I sometimes prefer a middle seat, but
Do you?
no.
Oh,
No.
I was like, there.
No.
Okay, yeah. No, that's interesting. So that's a thing. But you were kind of doing some figuring, like,
Well, I was-
how would they do that?
I was
Like,
trying to figure
why
out
would they do that?
Why would you do that? How would you do that? And the only thing that we came up with was if you have, an average of 4 empty seats on every flight, then you're at least selling them for $25. But if you're running full planes, like a lot of the airlines are, I don't understand it.
Yeah.
But this would not be the first time that airline pricing hasn't made sense. And it won't be the last. I can promise you that.
Well,
But as a customer, who wouldn't want that?
yeah. I mean, like, I don't know the last time I've flown on Frontier. I haven't been on. Being in Atlanta, you take it for granted. I mean, anybody watching at home from Atlanta would say, I don't know that I've flown on Frontier. And you fly everywhere on Delta. That's the thing. Anyway. Let's see here. Looking at the chat, and please, guys, don't be shy. Yes, we're gonna have the Ask Me Anything section at the end, so definitely drop your questions in for that. But chat with us in the comments if you are watching us live. But Bill had dropped in the comments. He said, coincidentally, and this is something Bill's known for, is giving us what the day is. Today is World Sleep Day.
How about that?
And he said, do you sleep better or worse when on vacation? He said he sleeps better when he's on vacation.
Usually better.
Usually better. Okay. What would make you, is there anything that makes you not sleep better on vacation?
If they have like the pillows that are like really thick and really firm,
Oh, really?
then that's no good.
I have a friend, Jill. I think she's a travel advisor, and so she knows how to, do her stuff, and she orders ahead to make sure she's got like 18 pillows delivered to her room, and she essentially creates a chair in her bed with her pillows. And I've got a picture of it. It basically sits her up in her chair, or in her bed, and that's how she sleeps. She sleeps.
Sitting up?
Yeah, like that. Yeah.
Does she sleep like that at home?
I mean, yeah. I think she actually has one of the beds that actually moves up, but yeah, that's the first thing she takes care of if it's not in her room.
Is 18 pillows.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the exact number. So Jill, I know she does watch, so I don't want to get that wrong. But
Okay.
yeah, but if she's doing something where she's gonna have her hair done and her makeup done, if she takes a nap, then she doesn't have to worry about her hair getting everything is. She's ready to roll. She can take a nap without any issue. I have to sleep.
She's
I have
halfway
to bury my face.
She's halfway to just sleeping standing up, and then she'll really be ready to rock.
Yeah, ready to roll.
Why
rock
don't
and
need
roll.
to even lay down?
Yeah, why bother? Why bother at all?
I
But,
don't think I could do that.
yeah.
A couple of once a year, if I get a head cold and I have to sleep kind of propped up,
Oh, right.
terrible. I couldn't imagine sleeping like that every day.
Yeah.
Jill, you amaze me.
Jill, she amazes me in more than one way. But yeah, the bed thing is or the pillow thing is a thing. But I love how serious she is about it. If I'm with her when we're checking in, she kind of leans in across the desk and she's like, and I just want to confirm that my 18 pillows have already been delivered, because if she has to call back down, that is irritating.
So what do you do though? Because some hotels the pillows are very flat and
Yeah, I mean,
flat, and some are really
She has an equation for it to make it work, but I'm surprised at the way she fits them together, that they actually form this chair in all those situations, whether it's a long or short pillow, whatever. Yeah, I'll have to show you sometime. It'll be
fascinating.
Yeah. But I will say for me, since you said you usually sleep better on vacation, I sleep better with that weighted blanket, and unfortunately I cannot travel with that weighted blanket.
Why not?
Because it's 30 pounds and I have 8 bags that I'm already
would
traveling.
stop you.
I mean, that would be that would be a little bit much to travel with. I'm just saying. Anyway, Bill said that a pants hanger will keep your curtains closed. So if you are having trouble with those blackout curtains,
Bill, I have to travel with you at some point. You always.
He's got an answer?
Great tip. He's got an answer for everything, but a great tip like that, and he's a fun guy. So
yes,
one day, Bill, one day.
So World via
We won't
Chris.
be sharing a room though. But I'll be happy to know that you're next door.
World via Chris, our associate producer in the room here, said, worse. The bed always seems super comfortable at first, but the pillows usually end up making it worse. So they start, and now he's miming the pillows become the monsters, like a succubus, that eat his head while he's sleeping. So where is the audience camera? Producer Evan, we need an audience cam or a camera for the associate producers, because they always bring some comedy to it. Let's see. Sean said, if you need help with your sleep, it is National Espresso Martini Day. I don't
think that would help.
You know what? I actually do think we need to say a rule for Love Travel, Live Travel. Let's just make this, we're the grand poobahs of the show. Let's just say that only Bill can call the national day. I can't take multiple days. Our Erica has thrown in some days. Now our Sean is. I just feel like only Bill can call the days.
Don't steal Bill's shtick.
Yeah, that is Bill's shtick, and we're gonna keep it that way. Getaway by TJB said, speaking of sleep, my husband builds what he calls a pillow fortress around him. It's hilarious. I want to see.
I want to see the Pillow
Yes,
Fortress.
I want to see the Pillow Fortress.
Just the name is hilarious.
Do you know what I think we need?
What?
I think we need to do viewer submissions. I think that needs to be, feel free. I'm gonna drop in the chat producer Evan's personal email, and you guys can send him all your funny photos for the show.
I dig it.
Because I need to see this fortress. And Bill said, and these are the things that these sleep hotels will offer: pillow selections, best positions, how to build pillow fortress classes. Bill, that is awesome. Yes, that's exactly. I want to be. If you get that gig of you interview and you're able to demonstrate how to build a pillow fortress, and I'm going to introduce you to our pillow expert and what he can do. Forget building a swan with a towel.
No,
I can build
so
fortresses, and I can
2020.
build love seats with pillows. I think that's fantastic. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, as I said,
Yeah.
next week, it's going to be my first time on Viking. I have never been on a Viking river cruise, and my goodness, have they, well before I ever even knew about using a travel advisor or even what river cruising really meant or was, I watched Masterpiece Theater. And sponsored by Viking. So this is I'm so excited about this, I don't like to think about trips. I think I might actually have anxiety about thinking about trips, so I think that's why I don't think about trips.
Okay.
Like, I know you guys think I'm really cool. But I'm not. I'm really just like a bundle of nerves and stress. I'm a stress guy. Anyway, you had forgotten I was going anywhere, and you were like,
did.
"So I hear you're going somewhere," and I was like,
Where are you
"Yeah, you." So I said I'm going to like Avignon and Lyon, and you were like, "Oh yeah, I've always wanted to go," and I just assumed you had been. You're such
No.
a
It's
France person.
I know.
Like I just assumed
I have
you
not
had done
been.
it all.
I want to do that itinerary. It looks amazing. I'm extremely jealous.
So I'm doing 6 days. So I'm serious. I teased on my social media. Give me tips on what to do because I'm going to be traveling by myself. Well, sort of. You're going to hear about that in just a minute. But I'm going to be traveling by myself.
Bill's going with you?
No.
Oh.
Just wait a minute. Let me unpack my story
Okay.
here. So I am looking for things that I need to make sure I see because I don't know when I'll be back. But so just what it says on the brochure. I'm going to see the grand palaces of Avignon to the culinary capital of Lyon, where one can savor local wines or hunt for truffles. Along the Rhone, where Cézanne and Chagall were inspired. And on Wednesday, you like how I did the hunting for truffles? I
just heard the James Bond theme. Like
yeah, I know. Dun, 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 dun. I'm hunting for truffles. Yeah. No, I know you don't use a gun. Do you actually use pigs? Because I think they do it with dogs now.
I think you can.
Is it?
In Italy, especially.
In
I think-
Italy,
I
it's
think-
pigs? But I am
think-
going.
I think both.
It's both. Yeah. For some reason, I thought dogs got involved too.
They can.
Yeah.
But they definitely use pigs some places.
Okay. Well, I'll let you know. Yeah.
Maybe it'll be like a. I don't know.
Pig and guns.
Yeah, well, I don't. I'm just. Yeah.
Dun, what if I got like
Do you
into
like truffles?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if it the the things they can all they have to do is put truffle fries on something, and I'm like, oh yeah, I've got to have that. Yeah, I'll have that. And all they did was drizzle a little oil on it, and I'm like, it's just fries, right?
Yeah.
It's
So my youngest daughter,
Yeah.
like occasionally, like we'll grill steaks or something at the house, and we'll make it with French fries. But my youngest daughter, I forget where we were, but she had truffle fries.
Yeah.
And she like won't eat French fries without truffle oil now. I'm like, you are fancy. She's like, what are we having? Like, I'm like steak, and she's like, with truffle fries.
Yeah.
I'm like, I guess.
I'm so fancy. Yeah.
So spoiled and fancy.
I really want cameras in your house. I want like at least on the first floor of your house. I want to see like your family life. I just I feel like there's I don't know, the fact that your daughter wants truffle oil on her fries. I think that's fantastic. I have Heinz. That's what I get for my fries. That's it. But yeah, so I'm gonna do a painting class.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna ride a steam train. So those are the things that I've got planned. But
You just need like I can just picture you like with like a beret, and you're sitting in a field painting.
But you know what? I hate arts and crafts. I do.
It's not camp.
I know. Oh, yeah, but I don't know. Like I guess maybe I'm more of an abstract artist. I don't know. I need it to be a little more, flinging the paint. But anyway, that's so.
I'm very excited.
Yeah,
that's gonna be fun.
So so I'm gonna be gone, and you're gonna be gone.
Yep.
And so you said you were gonna be gone. So we had a little dilemma. And I said, well, that's okay. Like, so what do we do for Love Travel, Live Travel, right? The show must go on, right? So I am going to do an out of office Love Travel, Live Travel.
Live remote, huh?
Live remote. Yes. So I'm going to do this, and it's not the first time I've done this. I've done it before. But I am going to be traveling by myself, and I've done that before too. But it's going to be a long trip. I'm going to be gone all week. So, and I like to talk to myself. So I felt like, to make next week's show a little more entertaining, I needed a co-host.
Okay.
So I decided that I would try puppetry. So, next week's show, Love Travel, Live Travel. This is going to be my co-host. I haven't named him yet, so you guys, please. Do you think he's got a little, try to make him look like you.
Well, all I can say for everybody watching this live or on recording is make sure to tune in next week, because it will likely be the very last Love Travel, Live Travel.
What? What? Oh, that's, we're going to go up there. Anyway.
Well, that will be fun, and I really hope they open your bags at customs. And they're like, what is this, sir? You're like, that's my sidekick puppet.
That's my traveling companion. Like, that's how we'll leave it. That will be fantastic. He does
Now, can you carry that thing with you, like, throughout the entire cruise? And when you sit down, like, table for two?
Well, I hope nobody from the ship, like none of the crew is watching. Like, I'm assuming like everyone in the world is watching the
You're
show.
probably safe.
but I hope they're not watching, because I'm wondering if I could pull it off. Like if they would just, I'm sure they would be so gracious.
Like, here is this weird dude who walks around with the puppet at all times.
And he has his own needs. Like he does not eat truffle. Don't even mention truffles to him. Like,
he's dairy free.
He gets very angry about truffles. Like, that is not his thing.
Does a puppet count as a personal item on a plane? They get two.
And producer Evan just said, does a puppet count as a personal item on a plane?
No, because you have to put him inside a bag.
Yeah.
You can bring them out after you board.
What if you're weird?
Anyway, it's a lot to take in.
I'm still jealous of your trip. And the pup. Does the pup have a name?
No, he doesn't have a name. He needs a name.
Oh.
So you guys, can you give me a name before we end the show? Like, I need a name for him. But mind you, I did give him a little, tuft of orange hair at the top. So it's got a little spike of. How about Sue T. Case? Oh, that's a good one. Oh my goodness. All right, please, let's talk about something else.
Moving on.
Moving on. All right, let's see. So World via Chris said, "Is that a Muppet or a puppet?" I feel like a Muppet is a brand, like a Muppet is a Jim Henson thing.
For various trademark reasons, we'll say it's a puppet.
It's a puppet. It is a. British people call them poppets.
Poppets?
Yeah. And as a term of affection, they call each other poppet.
Really?
Yeah. Kind of. Which I always think of. Weren't they called poppets? The things that you throw on the floor.
That's
Poppets.
what I thought.
Yeah, they're called poppets. And Bill's saying if I'm going to be, Bill is very practical. He said, "Are you going to be in port, because live streaming on a ship is not what I would recommend." I've done, this is not my first rodeo. I know what I'm doing, Bill. I've tried this before. I know what I'm doing. I'll make sure it's good. I love that he's thinking of me.
He is. He's worried about you.
I love it. All right, so next week I'll have been on my journey. It will be the last night. I'll be able to share some of my stories. Maybe me and Sue T. Case. I'm not sure, Angela, that's the name that I'm going to go with, but
It's a placeholder, at least.
it's a placeholder, Sue T. Case. Maybe we'll have some adventures that I'll we'll have some clips, and then we'll reflect back on our memories. There'll be like a little flashback section. Anyway. I hope you guys tune in for that. So we will be live for that. But you're not going to be here. But then the very next week, on the 29th, okay, so you do, please, if you haven't already subscribed to the Love Travel Live Travel channel, please do. And make sure you hit the little bell to get the notifications. Then that way you know whenever we're going live, because right now we go live at 4 p.m. Eastern every Friday. You never know, we might mix that up a little bit, or there might be some little shorts or things like that you might see. So that's why we keep harping on about that. But you really want to mark your calendars for the 29th. Because that show, we're going to have the Senior VP of Sales for Trade Support and Service, Royal Caribbean, Vicky Freed, who has, she has graced many stages.
Yes, she has.
And has been on, I have seen her grace huge stages and very small, intimate ones. And is just somebody who I truly admire.
She's one of those people that's just a real delight,
Yeah.
And so it'll be fun to chat with her. So
Yeah.
Don't miss that. When is that, the 29th?
The 29th. So we're going to end March. I was going to say, you say March comes in like a lion, goes out like a lamb, but I think we got a lioness. We're going to go out with a lioness. So you definitely... Yeah, girl, definitely. Angela said she's going to keep on thinking. She said, "Oh, I will keep on thinking of names for the poppet." And World via Chris said, "Worldy, the World via poppet." But I don't know that he's sanctioned by World via. Don't know about that. All right. So, is it time for Ask Me Anything?
Sure. The more you
No. Man, that was on delay. We'll get better at that one. So I think we only have one question coming from Miss Angela. And so what is Miss Angela's question? Are you going to fly it up on the screen? Yes, he is. What has been the worst thing that you have ever forgotten to pack on a trip? Ooh, what's the worst thing that you have ever forgotten to pack on a trip?
My passport.
Did you really?
I did.
How did you get by?
I had to go back to my house.
Oh, no.
Second worst thing was my bathing suit.
Oh, that's
I
not
went to the
bad.
beach without packing a bathing suit.
You
Yeah,
wore
but I
some
mean,
shorts.
of all the things you're going to pack when you go to the beach, like, wouldn't that be
Yeah.
kind of the first thing on your list? Like, oh, I probably should bring a bathing suit.
It was underwear. I mean,
There's no way to get around it.
I mean, I got to be honest. It was like, so now I have this kind of like system of packing that it starts with kind of like how I get ready.
Mm-hmm.
So first it's my vitamins, pills, whatever. Then it's my toiletries, like,
Okay.
and then it's like underwear. Then it's socks. Then it's.
I feel like we're entering a place where we're getting a little too much information about how you get dressed in the morning.
Okay. So anyway, it's just I go in that. That's how I pack. Anyway, but underwear is yeah, and that is not fun. It's not an enjoyable experience.
Did you go buy new underwear?
Well, not in the place where I was. That wasn't an option. It was one
Where
of
were
those.
you?
No, it was in a place in Mexico where like you were.
They don't wear
just,
underwear in Mexico?
No. It was in a place where you were in a resort,
Right.
and you were just flung down there in the middle of nowhere. It's not like you could just pop out to the Walmart.
They didn't have underwear in the gift shop.
No, there wasn't. No,
No, I agree.
No,
That
they
would-
had. That is where I did fall in love with sarongs, but I mean, so then
Was that the solution?
it was the solution.
Who's the nude guy with the puppet wearing a sarong all week?
All right, well, that's where the story. See, that's not what. So my story, I was like undershirt, and you're like, that's going too far. And then now you go underwear, a naked man with a puppet. Like that's all of a sudden. Yeah. So Bill said Amazon deliver. They deliver almost everywhere. Well, I didn't think about that at the time. Anyway, it just was. It was a stupid mistake. It was dumb, but. Yeah, but speaking of the
Yeah.
gift shops,
Yeah.
though, so I'm not somebody who goes out in the sun, but and I wouldn't normally pack a bathing suit
Right.
because even if I was at a pool area or whatever, I would never be going into the water. It just wasn't a thing. We just happened to be at a resort this one time where there was going to be this covered area, so I would hang out in the water. It was hot, whatever. So I went to go to the gift shop to get a bathing suit, and they were like $85. And I'm like, this is not fair.
Yeah, the gift shop's not where you want to be buying a wardrobe out of necessity.
No, not at all. That was not fair. So, anyway, that did happen.
Did you know? So I forgot my passport once, but my daughter, the last time we flew, we were flying back from Orlando, and
You needed
her
a passport
wallet.
for-
Well, no, her wallet. She's 18.
Yeah.
Her wallet went back with my wife on a different flight.
Okay.
So my daughter and I get to the airport, and we're about ready to go through security, and I'm like, she's like kind of doing this, and I'm like, you don't have your wallet, do you? And I'm like, so I start looking up like, okay, rental cars. So I call my wife. We figure out the wallet's at home. So then we remember she has Clear. So I'm like, just go through the Clear line, and hopefully you won't have
but
to show your license, right?
Yeah.
So she goes to the Clear line, but she was due to update her photo. So she was
no.
flagged to, time to update your photo. Let me see your license. She's like, I don't have it. So like at that point, I'm like, man, we're going to be driving back to Atlanta. So they take us to this little secret line. I didn't even know it existed.
Okay.
For people who forget their ID. Do you know this existed?
No.
It's a Department of Homeland Security little desk, and they ask you a bunch of questions about your identity, and they try to ascertain if you're really who you say you are, and if they believe you are, then they'll let you through.
Oh, wow.
So and it's not a fast process, so I definitely would not recommend just willy-nilly saying, oh, I'll just do that. But the two people in front of her in line were declined because the guy didn't believe them. But then they let her through, But when they asked, they're like, so what's your mother's birthday? And she got it wrong like 3 times. So that was a fun family memory. But yeah, so if you ever are at the airport, you've forgotten your ID,
There are options.
at least domestic, there is a TSA desk that can help you. The more you know.
Yeah, that is. Evan, do you even know that the more you know what we're talking about? Oh, he does. Okay, all right. Anyway, wow. Well, that was a fun hour of stuff. We talked about what makes a destination hot. I hope you feel enriched by the knowledge that we dropped, and we talked about sleeping.
That's hot.
Okay, stop. And I hope that keep on sharing in the comments after the show has aired tips of what I need to do while I am in the south of France. And
You're going to have a great time.
I think I am.
You're going to come back just transformed. Absolutely transformed.
You think the haircut wasn't enough? I mean, I did kind of.
I think you were going to come
I'm
back.
gonna have a goatee again.
You'll be wearing like a I don't know. You'll just be
Very French.
yeah. I think you're just gonna eat it up.
Balloon sleeves, like.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna share. We're gonna have a good time next Friday. So I do hope you tune in and watch. Thank you guys for those of you who tuned in live. Every time you do, it does make the Friday just extra special. We do hope you have a good time. I know that the 4 of us in the room have a great time when you are here. And again, just hope to see you back next week. And especially, again, mark your calendars. On March 29th, we've got the very famous Vicky Freed from Royal Caribbean stopping by. I'm excited.
I am excited. I'm excited to see you in France. I'm excited for Vicky the week after that.
Yeah.
Love you all.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in.
All right. Well, we will see you next time. Take care of yourself so we can take care of each other. Bye now.